Hey everybody, clearing. Okay, I want to say welcome scientists today because what I'm going to do is use the Starseed Oracle and the Erotic Tarot to find the median energies of the collective. So where the collective who joins me here, where these cutting edge sort of median energies are, the average of our crew. As far as intimacy and energetic factors, understanding. I'm going to do the masculines on the left, the feminines on the right. I actually started this video a bit earlier and thought that the feminines would be on the left, but that just came out, so that's probably why the first run didn't work. So the masculines on the left, my left, and the feminines. So thank you, Divine Creator. What can we see for the twin collective that joins me here? Where's everybody at, and how are the masculines and feminines viewing? Remember, this can be for your own internal masculine and feminine, the yin, the yang within you. It's both, actually. It's a fractal. It's that and your external counterpart. Okay, so what can we see? Conscious mind for the whole connection. We are getting artistry, expression, community, and celebration. So there's a coming together, souls converging, soul family overlap, community is forming, coalescing in these connections. So be on the lookout for serendipitous overlap of community right now. And 10 of Roses in the inverse. This is hilarious because what I'm getting is that it's being built in the energetic realms because of the celebration, the alignment, the fanfare of the cosmos. I just heard. That was adorable. Thank you, universe. The universe just said to me, I don't have hands. I have to tell you these things. I'm so glad it delighted you. Okay, welcome to my brain. 10 of Pentacles in the inverse. You know, in the upright, this is the American dream. In the inverse like this, it's atypical, unconventional, and it's done organically. This way we manufacture it. This way it kind of is a product of alignment, not kind of, it is. This is the way life is meant to be lived, that there becomes an organic overlap as universes collide, as worlds merge, as counterparts come into union energies. There's a celebration that naturally overflows into the material realm. 10 of Roses. What is this doing for intimacy in the connection? So I'm going to read the general messages, and then I'm going to also talk about these. So 10 of Roses, make sure you aren't being exploited for your wealth. So yeah, there's some consideration of blending finances and community involvement. So this does tell me that there are going to be some people in community that are teachers for us. So this is not about a free-for-all. This is about discernment, even in the communities at large. So what I'm specifically getting is just because the worlds are merging doesn't mean that everybody that comes in contact with each of the counterparts is going to be there for the long term. Not everybody is there for pure reasons, and those individuals are still going to be working their way out of the community as the purification, as the love unfolds within it. Those who are not aligned will continue to resonate out of that experience, and community will continue to grow. So there are going to be some individuals in this crossing over of worlds that are not meant to go for the long term. Be discerning, I'm hearing. However, for the bulk of this message, we've got this beautiful growing community forming. What can we see for the masculines regarding this? Well, we are definitely getting third-party energies or other options streamlining to, that's my divine feminine. So the masculines are also seeing that in all the options out there in your community, divine feminines, in theirs, you still are the fairest in the land. There is no other like you, and that's being confirmed on their awareness, but they're also wanting to sort of make it known, is what I'm hearing. I'm getting that where they looked aloof in the past, they're not so comfortable in that energy anymore. Staking a claim, I just heard. So what are the feminines going to be experiencing as this is happening? Wow, the world is my oyster, and this union energy in the inverse. So the feminines are like, not necessarily keeping options wide open, but understanding they are whole, and these unions haven't, fully anchored in all ways. And so the feminines are staying grounded. This is compatible energy. Let's face it. If masculines haven't fully come on board and the feminines know it, there's just this wiggle room in the connection. And with the 10 of Roses, the 10 of Pentacles here in the inverse, it's not set in stone. There's nothing set in stone. There's always free will. There's always discernment, and things are organically shifting and evolving all the time. So there's not great cause for concern, but there is definitely a need to be more deliberate with what we want and to understand masculines. Specifically here, the masculines are having a little bit of a urgency or a fire lit in their awareness that they haven't, I just heard locked it down with the feminines. But that's not necessarily the best way to interpret unbinding love, unconditional love, real love. It's not about locking down, but there is a celebration. And the appropriate way to show community is to have fidelity. If your heart is feeling that, it's about expressing it externally too. So there is what is that? Like, community is acting as a little bit of a inspiration for the counterparts to affirm their togetherness, is what I'm seeing here. The feminines are doing okay regardless, but they are still acknowledging that they would prefer to be unified with their masculine regarding the external world. They would be preferring to have that public knowledge. There's a little bit in this that the feminines know that this foundation hasn't fully anchored and it's still a bit premature, but that does go hand in hand with the masculines realizing that and confirming on their heart that their feminine is truly their choice. I think we're just tuning into the developmental stage. Okay, now for each other, what can we see? Heartwave resonator, ecstasy, rapture, flux, amplification. So there's an alignment of hearts here that's causing for an excited alignment. It's rising up. There's an amplified quality to how each are thinking of each other. I'm getting that that's kind of this community-based incentive for the couples to bring the connections more into public knowledge. And 5 of shells. So this in the inverse is typically, well, in the upright, it's a mourning, grief, loss card. In the inverse, it's looking at the love and the redemption story. So we're looking at the glass half full now. And this is really, with that community card, I'm getting that in the past, there were stigmas, whatever the difference is, religion, political alignment, geographical distance, age difference. Like, there's so many different things it could be. Yeah. And those things might not have been embraced by community, or there might have been a fear. That's no longer the case. There's some sort of proof. And all the puppies in the house say, no, that's not the case anymore. So, yeah, there's a looking at the positive. There's more of an acceptance now of the greater community, the inclusion. There's more of an inclusive feeling coming in. What are the masculines thinking in this case? Oh my gosh, the King of Swords, clarified by the King of Swords. So they're in two minds about it. They are going around in circles a little bit. So masculines, you're all up in your head about your feminine and what to do here. And it might just be that it's a new way of looking at whether you thought this connection needed to be in the past or whether it was viable. It seems like it's still this one or the other kind of things, or it could be that there are still certain individuals in the community that wouldn't approve of this connection. It's having two different thoughts that's polarized here. It's like night and day, but it's all in the headspace. It's not in the heart. So yeah, masculines, there's a really interesting processing, analysis, paralysis going on here. Remember, masculines, don't get too hyper. You've got all the time you need for things to be authentic. You don't have to make a knee-jerk reaction decision with anything. The love is real. You're not going to lose out. But be sincere. Learn to differentiate between when anxiety is trying to tell you to do something or when you are genuinely inspired to take action. What are the feminines experiencing regarding this amplified energy? Four of Cups and the Queen of Wands. So there is the potential for this to come back around, and the connection to I'm getting a couple of messages. The Four of Cups is when something feels like it's been lost in the past. In the inverse like this, it's coming back around. There's a second chance. And this is my Divine Feminine card, the Queen of Wands. So where you might not have felt chosen, or I'm going to say beautiful enough, or something enough, that's going to be shown to have been a fallacy. It's like you're going to see it now as a learning process. There's something that's going to illuminate that it was more of a resonance, a difference in frequencies than anything to do with your worthiness. However, as you've been learning more and more what your worthiness is, you know that there is so much, like the world is your oyster, Divine Feminines, and that you have so much more ability to align with things that are truly good for you and meant for you, that you're not dependent on a scarcity template that looks like you are approved of or not by your masculine. But there is something redeeming, that it's not been about your counterpart's preference, will for you. It's been circumstantial or energetic. So there's something coming back around. Masculines are wondering how to convey this, is what I'm getting as well. Okay, well, what can we see? So I'm still getting more messages about this. So the masculines are also looking at their new interpretation of who you authentically are at large in the world, feminines, versus the misconceptions they used to hold, or the fears about these connections that they used to tell themselves were the reasons this couldn't work in some way, or it wasn't time yet. Oh my goodness, I'm doing a YouTube reading, Suka. Okay, so what can we see for the heart space for the two? Seal of Metatron, form, structure, foundation, cosmology. So there is a brand new foundation that's been laid on the heart space. This is a new permission. Wow, Queen of Feathers here. What does this one say? So there are outdated people, places, and things that are still being cut out. So for the first message where there were certain individuals in community that would be released, that can mean karmic partners. Still people who are fake for show, haven't gotten it yet, are manipulative, rude. Those people are still being released, and the alignment is changing. But let's see what this Queen of Feathers says for the heart space. So once you are in her power, she will get her way. Well, that also means with this seal of Metatron that once you've aligned with this new ascended template, that the ball's set in motion, that it's a given, that it's inevitable. So the median energy in the collective is that we've reached the critical tipping point. We've reached the threshold, that 144,000 believers in true love that has rolled out this process on the planet, and it's past the point of no return. It's happening. We are being towed by the energy of it, and these unions are coming in. Second chances for many, processing of our thoughts and balancing out in the name of light and love. What are the masculines experiencing with this no going back foundation? Continuing to see where self-love gives them permission to let go of burden, where self-love gives them permission to dream more for their lives. Stop playing small, go for their extraordinary lives. What are the feminines feeling on the heart space about the connections? Wow, the masculines are ending the burden and the feminines are ending the abandonment wounds. Queen of Pentacles. So the feminines are understanding that it's not about whether they're chosen in a love partnership or not. It's been about the journey. This is the icing on the cake. So the feminines are no longer needing to be in a certain recognition. They now know it's an inside job, and that regardless of circumstances, they get to decide whether they feel abandoned or rock bottom in any situation or not. So this is the foundation that the feminines have benefited from and created within, that they can never unsee again. And the masculines can never unsee the burden of the world. They know they don't deserve to carry those duty templates, the slavery templates. And the feminines know they don't need to carry those objectification and ownership templates anymore. Beautiful. And this is a knowing on the heart that can't be unseen. What is the heart space for the counterparts from each other? Cellular light, self-illumination and simplicity, and Page of Candles. So this is the simple truth, that these connections are felt like a love light to each other. Page of Candles is the spiritual initiate, where there is a beginner's eyes. It's fresh. It's always looking at things in the newness, without assumptions, expectation, attachment to outcome. That Page of Candles, what can we see? Not just a playmate, but also a good friend, someone trustworthy and loyal with whom you can let your guard down and be yourself. The Page of Candles really gets you, and the two of you have a level of comfort around each other that makes lovemaking easy, natural, and nourishing. In other words, the perfect fuck buddy or wing person when you're on the prowl. Well, so this is like bringing it back to the beginning, back to the freshness, not necessarily the honeymoon stage, but the newness, the curiosity, the allowing for what is, and without the assumptions that kind of drag the thing down. On the heart space, there's this open, curious, uncharted kind of feeling. What are the masculines experiencing? They're looking bravely at their needs. Masculines, you are overgivers too, and often in the wrong directions. This is about you setting the balance and your priorities in the right directions and being brave enough to trust that if you give to your feminine, you won't be let down. That if you give freely, it won't be lost. That if you are brave enough to begin and curious enough to dare to believe it doesn't have to mean it's going to be the worst heartache of your life, you'll be able to move forward. But there is a real looking at the paradigm of scarcity and where you've overgiven in safe situations and not given into the situations with, for instance, the feminine in the past that could really get off the ground. So this is a reminder, you've got to start somewhere. You've got to start in this fresh energy and not fear the worst will happen if you go all in. Well, there's my battery. I got to hurry up. Feminines, how are the feminines experiencing this? Well, there's the Four of Cups again, the return, the second chances. This is alignment though, the Two of Pentacles. So this is baby steps, one step at a time. So feminines, don't get ahead of yourself. Take it slow, take it easy, be present in the moment, be curious, and stay in that lighthearted energy. Don't prematurely make a mountain out of a molehill or expect that things have to be all or nothing. This is showing up and seeing kind of energy on the heart space, open-hearted. What is the manifestation that the collective is at the edge of? Ancestry, courage, wisdom, and empathy. So this is where progress, generational progress, really starts rolling out into the world. And we're meant to have wisdom, empathy, and great courage right now. Queen of Candles. This is that divine feminine empowerment. Let's read the card. It is also the yin, the going with it, the embodiment, the flow. I often call this card the martial artist flow. It's like next level ability to roll with things. So this is the manifestation that comes from those beginner's eyes on the heart of hearts that allows for going with the flow because we're not encumbered by expectation or attachment to outcome, that we're just showing up and wanting to know what is really there rather than what we're fearful isn't there or projecting is there that's not love. Rewind that if you didn't understand what I just said. That was really important. So, Queen of Candles. The fiery Queen of Candles commands attention and makes her mark wherever she goes. Whatever she does with purpose. Her powerful style lends itself to business success and prowess in all public and personal relations. Her strong and confident personality can empower others to express themselves, but it can also be overpowering. At times, she's going to want to bend you to her will. Her sexual style is direct and straightforward, fun, warm, and with a filthy sense of humor. She appreciates honesty in others. So the divine feminine is a badass, no-nonsense energy, but this is also something coming in for manifestations for the couples. This is about moving in community with this kind of knowing and prowess. This is business success. So there's a lot of making the ancestors proud coming in, but couples, it's not to be boastful. So this can intimidate. People can be intimidated in community and social circles, friend circles, family, ancestrally. This can challenge. But this is also a great honor and responsibility for the collective, because we're coming into really wielding this empowerment into the world. How are the masculines experiencing this? Wow, humility, the Emperor here. This is very interesting because masculines are beginning to take charge. They want to contribute to this kind of leadership in the public. This is a card of humility. Often the Empress is calming the lion, taming the lion, the Emperor. It can be overcoming devil energies. It's funny because this is the Emperor Lionheart, that the Empress has the only sort of secret in that can affect the Emperor in that way. And so there's this idea that although these masterful emperors have it figured out in their own right, they have a soft spot for their feminine, and that this flow that's coming in is a really beautiful combination. The masculines are getting their land legs with this, though. There's a bit of a resistance to it. I'm getting the sense to say, divine masculines, go with the flow of that, though, because your feminine doesn't have a negative agenda. It might feel, because there's this merging of worlds and crossover where you didn't expect it in your communities, that it's being done to you. Really understand that alignment works this way. When things start coming in aligned, it's going to be kind of freaky. And I'm getting the sense that if you can flow with that, masculines, you won't blame your feminine for that voodoo that they do so well. You're going to be able to go with it. So how are the feminines experiencing this? The end of anxiety, and there's the baby steps. So feminines have realized that the only way that they can navigate with sanity, I just heard, is one step at a time, one circumstance at a time, one thought at a time, feeling, trusting, intuitively being guided in every motion, in every moment, and that is the way life is lived in the present. In the present, feminines are trusting their intuition so deeply that they will be given all the information they need every step of the way to flow with. And that is the thing that calms the Emperor. The Fool doesn't have an agenda, so the Emperor listens to the Fool, but the feminine also soothes the masculine Emperor heart, because the feminine can go with the flow and take things as they come without, in this ascended way, without fear and hypervigilance. The feminine can truly relax. So this is really beautiful. We're starting to see the two alchemizing out into community, preparing for that, preparing for business success, preparing for influence out into the community. Okay, what can we see for the action that's coming in? Acceleration, stimulation, excitation. So on the quantum level, things are already set in motion. That ball's been set in motion. These things are coming in. 6 of Roses. This is the reciprocity. So there are going to be opportunities where the two will overlap and negotiate a new give and take. What is the 6 of Roses? So where there hasn't been that give and take in the past, it's coming in so that we can rewrite those histories. So we get a second chance at learning how to negotiate that dynamic interaction. 6 of Roses in the inverse. Be careful not to desire more than you can handle. So take it slow. It's becoming accelerated, so there's going to be lots of opportunities, but don't get ahead of ourselves right now with the action, with what we can do. Stay grounded, practical, sane, level, allow it. What can we see for the masculines? Wow, temperance and happiness. So the masculines are beginning to see that this is a very once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and it's extraordinary. We have the angelic realms here supporting, and this alchemy of balance coming in, and everything being available. There are no more deal breakers that the masculines need to bow down to, because none of those material realm-based deal breakers need apply when we're becoming more multidimensional. none of those things matter. It's all of the temporal world. And so now we're going up into the realm of anything goes, all is fair in love. And so the masculines are starting to see that it's only been their predictive programming or imprinting or trauma that has stopped them from believing that these connections were viable and possible. Now that they're seeing that none of those things actually had power over this love, there is a tendency to get a little bit further ahead faster. But masculines allow it to unfold naturally. What are the feminines seeing? 8 of Cups and Page of Cups. So the feminines are understanding that there's still some emotion to clear, that there is still some need to look at the things that were not emotionally productive in the connections that happened as a result of an imbalance or contributed to the imbalance. So the feminines are needing to surrender and not carpet sweep that there have been emotional imbalances, and that it's okay to pinpoint what those were in order to understand the difference between what works and doesn't work. But that's not the same as fearing that history will repeat itself. It is surrendering to the love being here and trusting that when we look at the things that have happened, it's only so that we can appreciate this opportunity for love now. It's not to lord it over somebody. It's not to guilt and shame. It's not to do that. It's certainly not to have fear that that's the only pattern that will ever happen in the connection. It's just to see the way energy works with an objective understanding, a big picture thinking. And so that is how we get up and out of the fear that it will happen again, is to see it for what it was and to tuck that in our back pocket toolkit that it won't happen again. But there is a need to surrender and look at it. We're not meant to, gloss over those things. Sometimes we have rosy sunglasses on for our counterpart. That's this card. And this is where we take those rosy sunglasses off and we start looking at the fundamentals of energy and how certain things are death energies. They are brick wall energies, and certain things are life affirming. And there is a contrast. And so feminines are very good at knowing sensitively how and where and what and why those things transpire. So masculines might be sort of in la la land a little bit here, wanting to kick things off. But there are things that will need to be agreed upon so that we can be on the same page, and so there can be reciprocity. And this is saying that feminines are more aware of those things right now than the masculines. What can we see for the biggest challenge for the collective at this time? Subconscious awareness, Akashic information. So this is talking about the larger collective energies, and King of Feathers. So this is the one that's talking about the masculines. Masculines, you've gotten this twice. No, Suka. What? I'm making a video. I really, really love you. Oh, she's so sweet. But I don't have any more chewies because you've eaten 50 million chewies today. I apologize. I think when I record or work on my sessions, she thinks she gets a chewy. I don't know what to give you. Here, how about this? Look. Oh, this one. There you go. Go get it. Oh, wow. I don't know. Okay, King of Feathers. No, you go down. Suka. I'll refuse. I'll refuse to be done with this reading, Suka. Suka. You want to read it? She copies everything I do. Oh! Hey, that was an accident, I'm sure. King of Feathers. Okay, get down. Down. Sit. 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 Enough, brat. Sit. Suka. Sit. Lie down. Stop. Oh, okay, out. Okay, up on the bed. You want to go up there? Don't bother me. Okay, out. Go. Go. Sorry, babes. That's it. She loves me. Okay, where were we? King of Feathers. Oh, goodness. Okay, in the inverse. Don't get caught giggling at the back of the class. Don't let Suka hear you giggle. He has a foul temper and doesn't like having his authority undermined. Deep down, he knows that while he is the king of the castle, he's no emperor. So we are seeing masculines, this tender need to come into these connections without getting ahead of yourself and calling all the shots. You know, that kind of masculine energy that there's an expectation for you to have it all figured out. You don't need to do that here. You can have more of a soft and amicable energy where you don't have to keep regulating this thing in a cold or domineering way. How are the masculines adjusting to this template imprinting opportunity? Oh, wow, it is a brand new beginning. And the Wheel of Fortune. So it can be divinely guided. This is in the inverse. So remember, masculines, it's not out of ego. I think we're seeing this allusion to ego here, and also with the King of Swords backed by the King of Swords in the inverse. That's the same card. There is a caution here, masculines. Don't be all up in your head pushing ego agenda. Drop into the heart, drop into the grounding, drop into this co-creative thing where you trust, where you don't have to feel like you've got to set the stage or make it happen a certain way. Don't put that pressure on yourselves, masculine. Okay, feminines, how are we experiencing this template writing opportunity in the collective? Queen of Pentacles and Five of Pentacles. So this is you being discerning and embodied, whether or not this is a cycle where you go into another mini separation or you hold consistently in life partnership. This is an opportunity for you not to force things, for your fear not to run the show, and for you to just stay the course, knowing that you are so worthy and so loved and so lovable and so loving, feminines. So this is about expanding and having the staying power where there's no need to rush, where there's no fear of failure, where it just is, everybody. What can we see for the solution to this challenge? Is that where we're at with this? Yeah, solution to this challenge is authenticity, uniqueness, and integration, and Three of Feathers. So this is about just relaxing and being ourselves, just completely dropping in, allowing this to be this stage of the process. Three of Feathers. In the upright, you have the opportunity to establish the terms of a contract, to write the templates, everybody. What did I just tell you? Exactly what I told you. Be fair in your arrangements. Most of us appreciate a little security. So you don't have to call the shots. You just have to affirm that you want the shots to be called. Everybody, this is about bringing your best to the table, your authenticity, your uniqueness, and integrating as a whole, and providing security, providing a vote of confidence, and then negotiating, navigating it together. That's so nice. Where are these connections going in the near future? Oh, hang on. How are the masculines viewing this. Epiphany is in the name of unconditional love. It's not about one being more than the other or being more of a leader in this way than the feminine. It's about allowing it to be peaceful and whole and free-flowing. And the feminines, oh, Queen of Swords, this is the knowing. This is the understanding that these connections are going towards this star-destined result, that it's this attractor beam that's pulling us towards the inevitable union. The ball was already set in motion when we said we wanted real love. And this is the knowing that this is how that real love is experienced along the route to the inevitable destiny. And this is the integration path to that which you've asked for, that has already been unfolding, that is already you, that is already predestined, that you are integrating along the way. What is the general motion in the near future? True self-passion, motivation, and purpose. There is a deepening of this community influence, the purpose in the world, the unified collaborations, and Three of Roses. So this is the work, the foundation that's being done into the world, the building. This is the building that can come together when two are passionately aligned as their true selves and motivated on the same purpose. They work together. It's exponential. There's a real gathering of steam here. Abundance coming in. Abundance generation. What is the Three of Roses? Someone's noticed you and what you can do. Feel satisfied with what you've achieved thus far, but hopefully it's only the beginning. So each have noticed the capacity of the other in some new aligned way. How are the masculines going to be experiencing this? Wow, moving it forward and asking for higher guidance on how to keep the ball rolling, how to keep collaborating, how to keep it flowing. We do have the Pentacle here. And we do have the sun and moon in an eclipse energy. So from now until the eclipses in October 14th and 28th, there is a learning of what kinds of thoughts need to be released and which ones are productive for moving forward for success in the material realm together, and the abundance coming in that's coming from the alignment of the two. What are the feminines experiencing? Sun and Magician. So this is a heyday, a glory day for the feminines, because what you've been wanting to manifest is coming to light. All the stuff that others haven't been able to say, yes, I agree, this is real. Feminines, it's about to come to light. The stuff that you've known that you haven't been able to put your finger on is going to be evident for others to see, for community, and for you to know that you were not cuckoo. Okay, let's see. Is that it? Let's get one more card for the masculines and the feminines. What can we see? Advice for the masculines, root chakra, grounding this, stability, foundation. This is where your projects and things can take off because you've connected with your feminine, and it's a co-creative experience. The root chakra, the red flower of life, stimulates passion and supports our sense of security on the physical plane, both in our bodies as well as the physical world. So everything's moving towards this. I'm staring at all this beautiful alignment, this root chakra, the kundalini, the true passion that rises when two are focused on the same purpose, the same beautiful outpouring into the world. We're seeing that message a lot here. And for the feminines, sensuality. Oh, so the feminines are going to be freed up to start experiencing a new level of sensuality where they're safe, where they are loved, where they are worthy, where they are free to be their sensual selves because there's a place and a belonging. Oh, yum, yum, yum. Okay, so sensuality reminds us that as spirits in human bodies, we are sensual beings experiencing joy and pleasure from the physical world through our senses. No more fear and longing and, not being chosen and choosing. There's this emerging sensuality that can come in when we are at our best, when we're in our wholeness, when we know we are worthy of love, and when we want to freely give that love because there's no limitation. Awesome. Okay, everybody. Bye for now.